everybody. We are back for another interview for QA Atlanta and the upcoming conference the end of September. And I have Tariq with me. Tariq, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jennifer.
And why don't you tell us a little bit, Tariq, you've been working on some really cool innovation stuff lately around different areas with AI going beyond functional testing and gaming and other spaces. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're finding some passion in your role and things that you're really excited about that AI is now able to do?
Yeah, I mean, like when we kind of started this stuff, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, it was all just about kind of getting the bots to do functional testing, right? Like, I mean, and that's obviously still an important thing. There's lots of, functional testing that we need to do from a day to day to make sure that software is, doing what we expect it to do, right? But I think one of the cool things about AI is that it helps us to step into areas that we might not have seen as being very easy to automate in the past, right? Things like usability, accessibility, and even doing things like looking at video streams and playing games and testing games and that sort of stuff. So a lot of the work that we've been doing and that I, talk about at the conference in our presentation is really what are we doing now beyond functional testing, right? How do we get the bots to recognize if a web page is usable or not, right? Or is accessible and conforms to those WCAG guidelines and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we've been going. One exciting area that I think is kind of booming right now is with the games as well. So we're pretty excited about everything that's kind of going on in the midst of the AI and testing world.
So cool to be working on all those things right now. And I know you've been doing a lot of virtual events and conferences lately. You're always, normally out in conference season this fall, you'd be all over the world, we'd see you. And now it's all gone virtual. Any tips or things that you've seen as kind of learnings out of going virtual from normally being in person that you would pass along to the folks listening to this saying, here's a way to take advantage of this, or here's the good in this, or any nuggets you can give us?
Yeah, no, I think it's, obviously the priority right now is for everyone to be safe and, in the midst of the pandemic and stuff like that. But there's a big opportunity there, right? Like, obviously, we're stuck at home, but, there's so many virtual events. A lot of them are very cheap or even free. Like, there's just so much stuff that you can kind of do. You just have to plug in and be online. Many of us are working from home or living from work, depending on how you look at it. But I would say just kind of take advantage of all these events. And normally, some tutorials and the travel and everything, conferences can cost like $2,000. So if there's a virtual event that's $90 or, even free, you can't beat that price. And you have access to the same experts and probably even more one-on-one time, right? Because what I found is that we have these calls and we might have an event and there's like office hours and stuff, and you can get one-on-one time with the experts, which at a conference you're competing for their attention from everyone around them and from things that are happening. But imagine having access just at home. So I would say to people, just take advantage of this time, use it to decompress, use it to get some quiet time and let your thoughts actually sit after the conference and go back and watch videos because they're recorded and that sort of stuff. Those things you don't really get to do. You're just kind of moving from one thing to another at a conference, and then you go back home and you can decompress and let it all out. But here you actually get to ingest it as you go.
Well, and I think that's a great point, right? Like, it's all about plugging in. As you said, you got to plug in. If you can take advantage of it, there's lots of out there for you to take advantage of. And, one of the things too, I think that's important now is there's a lot going on and it can be very stressful in people's lives. And you were mentioning, we are living from home or living from work, however you want to look at it. We live at work now, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
finding ways to engage more. Is it nice? I'm sure it's nice for you. You have 2 young daughters, as anyone who follows you knows. Has it been nice being able to not be away from them as much and get some of that quality time too, though, with your family and being with them? Or is it a little too much? Are you still in that it works out good, or where are we at?
Oh, I actually appreciate it a lot, and it didn't feel like too much. I mean, it can be stressful, as you probably know yourself, to have the little ones. And my daughter, she's usually in this room behind me while I'm working, and but she's pretty good. That's the 7-year-old, and then the 2-year-old. But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed actually having the time with them and kind of just experiencing their world as they go through school and doing it from home and stuff like that, and just helping them more and just being more in that routine. Like sometimes we're so busy and we're gone, as you know, like we traveled and we stay weeks and weeks away from home. Now we're here with them all the time, and I thoroughly I'm appreciative of that time with them. But they want the world to go back to normal, and so do we. But it helps us to stop and just really look at your family and appreciate them. So we've been having a good time. So
Good. Oh, it's so good to hear. And we all look forward to seeing you coming up here at the end of the month at QA Atlanta. Everyone should be attending the session that you'll be giving around beyond functional testing, hearing more insights about some of the stuff you've been working on, which is super exciting. And recently you were part of a book that just launched too, right? We should mention that. Is it still on pre-order, I think?
yeah, I think it's available now. Aaron, as you know, Aaron from Perforce Perfecto, depending how you slice that,
Yeah.
had his 3rd book in his trilogy on accelerating software quality and DevOps in the whole world. So we have quite a bit of a contribution there on this topic. So you can pick it up.
Yeah, pick up that book as well. Thank you, Tariq, for your time tonight. We'll let you get back to that awesome family you got going on there in your evening, but thank you for sharing insights and some of your time today with us.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. You take care.
Take care.